Hi, welcome to this week's edition of Kaimin Sports Talk. I'm joined today by Alex Valdez, two-time Defensive Player of the Year Carly Selvig, and Jesse Flickinger. Today we're going to be talking about men's and women's basketball. The Montana Grizzlies and the Lady Griz are hosting both Big Sky Conference tournaments. So, first of all, Carly, congratulations.
Thanks.
What does that honor mean to you, especially 2 times in a row?
It's pretty big. Just knowing that coaches recognize that is a pretty big deal. Just for my team too, especially being able to have that honor, and I wouldn't be a defensive player without them, so it's a pretty big deal. Your ability to defend shots especially is, you were ranked nationally for a long time. What do you do specifically to be so good at that? Just kind of something that is a skill, I guess. Just knowing where the ball is when they're shooting it, and being able to react with your feet and with your body, especially not giving them so much room to do stuff. So that's definitely something that I try to do.
Last Saturday, you guys had already wrapped up rights to host the conference tournament, but kind of a dud of a game against Montana State.
Yep, we actually watched film on that yesterday before practice, and it kind of lit a fire under our butts and we had a great practice that day, so just putting that behind us now and looking forward.
How helpful is it? You guys are going to host, and how helpful is that in terms of just like playing where you've played, and not only that, but sleeping in your own bed, not being on the road? How big of a benefit is that for you in the tournament?
That's a huge advantage. Especially with our crowd too. Our fans are the best, and the women's Big Sky by far. They just give so much energy to us, and it's just a huge advantage.
I didn't see, you guys have Idaho State up first. I didn't see that game. Alex, what did you see when they came? How did you not see either?
I know, I'm bad. I did not see that either, but just looking at both of the Lady Griz's games against Idaho, when they were at home, they shot 54%, which was one of their top shooting percentages. They won that game 77-65. And then when they met them on the road for the first time, they shot 51%, and they won that game 69-51. So, overall going in, they have past history on their side. And some other just kind of fun stats. This is the 27th time that the Lady Griz have made the Big Sky Conference tournament, and so that's been every single year since it has started. And at home, Montana is 28-1.
In the Big Sky Conference tournament?
In the Big Sky Conference tournament.
Do you know when the time they lost was?
The only time they lost was in 2007 in a semifinals game against Northern Arizona, 64-59.
Wow, so that home
That's
court.
impressive.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
Wow. That's some pressure.
What do you see in Idaho State?
Idaho State is, we just have to communicate a lot during that game. There's nothing really in particular about staying with them on defense, I guess. Other teams, you really have to focus on certain people. I think they're kind of all well-rounded, so us matched up really well. And we obviously had 2 great offensive games against them, and we're coming back from a loss, so I think we're looking to have a great offensive game. So,
Epiphany Woods, she was named the newcomer of the year for the Big Sky Conference, and she put up like 15 points, I think, in the first half against you guys. Mm-hmm. What does she do?
She just can shoot it wherever. She takes to the hole and she pulls up and shoots a jumper, so that definitely is somebody that we really have to focus on, I guess.
And I'm sure you're focused on the tournament coming up. This is your senior year. It's going to be a little sentimental for you, I'm sure. But you also had a brother who went overseas after playing for the Griz as well. What are some of your plans after?
Like I was telling Alex, if I had the opportunity to go overseas, I would definitely take it. It's not just going to be something. I've seen old teammates stress out about it. And if it's something that happens, it happens. But if not, I'm planning on going to massage therapy school here. So.
Okay. Any reason why, as far as massage therapy?
No, I just kind of decided a couple of years ago that's what I wanted to do, and it's been my plan.
Cool.
So then, I guess my final question is, looking forward, if you make it to the championship game, who do you want to see if you had to choose your opponent?
I don't know. It'd be fun to play Eastern Washington again, just to beat them on our home court again. But I don't know. I think every game this tourney is going to be a championship game for sure. It's just going to be. I mean, it was a race to get into the tournament, so it's just going to be a really good tournament.
Awesome. Well, the men are also going to be hosting the Big Sky Conference tournament here in Missoula, and yesterday the Big Sky Conference handed out postseason awards, and one notable absence was Travis DeCure being left off the Coach of the Year award list, and we were all surprised by that.
Yeah,
Twitter was surprised.
I don't understand the reasoning with that. I mean, sure, Jim Hafer for Eastern had a good year. So Sac-State. Miss Sac-State's having a really good year for what their program has been historically. I mean, Mick McKinney, he's MVP. That hasn't happened for them, I don't think, ever, or a very, very long time. But at the same time, what Takir was able to do, come in here first year with players that weren't his own, after being ranked during the preseason, it was middling at best, and he transformed this team into a #1 conference team that's hosting the tournament. I don't understand. I mean, the same thing with the MVP, the conversation with Tyler Harvey being in the Big Sky as well. I mean, you have the nation's...
He's the nation's leading scorer.
He's the nation's leading scorer, but we're giving it to Mick McKinney just because of what he does for his team, and I understand that, but it's not like Eastern... I mean, if they win one more game, I guarantee they give him MVP.
Yeah, he missed a couple games. He wasn't here when he didn't play when the Eagles came to Missoula, so I think that maybe that might have played into it. It also might have been just kind of, like you said, like a legacy type of deal.
It was the Griz game, I honestly think. I mean, if they had won that game in Cheney against the Griz, you have Eastern coming out on top of this conference. Hayford's the outright coach of the year. Tyler Harvey's the MVP. But Martin Broyden got named newcomer, which, I mean, that's certainly good.
I think, totally deserved. He is just outclassed pretty much every other big in the conference, and he's really given them the Grizzlies what they've lacked in the last couple of years, which is a rebounder.
And then, that's nice to have. But we also have, his buddy running point with Jordan getting named first team all-conference with him as well. So it's good to see that he got proper recognition for the year he's having.
Especially when he, statistically it wasn't his best year, especially in terms of points per game.
And he changed the free throws.
Yeah, and he was just such more of a focus of that offense, so it was kind of good to see that. Griz opened up with Weber State, who's the defending conference champions and has been the bane of Montana's existence for the past couple of years. How surprising was it that Weber State took the 8th seed coming into the tournament?
I mean, it's funny because we kind of needed them to, because they had to beat Eastern for us, to really have more. I mean, with the way that the whole tiebreaker situation laid out, it looked better off that they would win in and get us. But getting them as the 8th is difficult here. I mean, we seem to do well against them at home, but away at their place, we haven't won since Anthony Johnson, so it still could be tough. It really depends on if Sanglin plays.
Absolutely. He's a big part of what they do. Predictions for the men's bracket?
I'm going to go with Montana if they pulled it. They pulled it through, so, I mean, why not?
I'm going with Montana all the way.
Jesse?
I'd have to say Montana, but I think their road there is going to be tough. I mean, this is it's been an interesting year for sure. I mean, they've proven they can beat anyone, but they've also proven they can lose to anyone on a given night. They play, when it gets into overtime or they get into tight games late, they seem to have a hard time finishing, and that's really something. This character is a first-year coach and a first-year team trying to get things together. But hopefully through this tournament, having it at home and, being able to stay here, I'm sure as well as that kind of experience, that will help them in being able to finish off some of these games where they haven't been as lucky on the road.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think, especially the experience earlier in the season, close games at Cal, those types of games are going to really pay dividends later in this tournament. Thanks for joining us this week. It's a great week to watch basketball. Be sure to come out and see some great games. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Kaimin Sports. Like us on Facebook. And do you have a Twitter, Carly?
I do.
Follow Carly on Twitter. What's your handle?
Carly Selvig.
Awesome. Thanks.